All right, here is our EPAS. EPAS for electric power assist steering. So this is from PRIUS. I'm not sure the year PRIUS, but we got it from a salvaged car, and this is what we're going to be putting in the charade. Now you may be wondering why it is that I'm going to all of a sudden now put electric power assist steering in the car. Didn't I put a power steering in the car, power steering pump? Well, yes, I did, and unfortunately that did not work out. On testing it and testing, we still didn't get it to do what it was supposed to do in terms of assisting us. So the pump did turn on, the lines did pressure up, but we were not getting any hydraulic assistance from that. So we decided to go this route. So how is it? You see all these components here, and I'm going to give you a guide as to, if you're going to do this modification, what it is that you're going to need. Now, as you can see, this is the basically like just the top part of the steering column from the PRIUS. Also Corollas come with it, around 07 up would come with that. And we have the control unit for this. Now, other components you see here, I have a fabricated bracket, an adapter piece, and this is also a piece. This is from my steering column. Now, in the side-by-side photo that we have here with both steerings, you'll see how my original steering column was designed. Everything you see there, you just see the top half of the PRIUS steering, and then you see my full steering column. The top piece, the universal joints that connect all the way to the rack and pinion. Now, if you were to be doing an upgrade like this, or a conversion like this, I should say, onto your vehicle, some advice as to the things that you'll want to get. Now, primarily, you'd want to ensure that whichever car that you're getting this from, you get the ECU for it, of course, the motor, and the top and lower half of the steering column. Now, depending on the vehicle that you're putting it on, you may or may not use this area. If we look here, you see that there is an adjustment piece right here, and with this you're able to adjust length. You can adjust how much you carry it out and in, and also you can get to adjust the height of the steering. You can make the steering go up and down, right? Here you can see that these two can be separated like this, and this is a gear that is here. So if it is that you don't want to use this adjustment and swivel option that you'll get, you have the option to actually pull that. But let's focus on how it is that we got this to work for us. So these are the main components that you're going to need. Now, things to take into consideration when doing this conversion is, first, what car is it that you're putting it to? This is for Toyota PRIUS. So if it is that you're going Toyota PRIUS, you just know that the hub and steering that you're going to use is going, you'd want to use one for Toyota. Nissans also have, there's I think the Nissan Cube or Note has this power assist steering, so that is also another option. So just note that if you get that and you're going to use this part, you'd have to also use it. So now, for our conversion, seeing that our cars are Daihatsu, and Daihatsus are cousins to Toyota, so they tend to use quite a number of the stuff. So in this next photo, you'll be able to see that there is a difference that I had in the widths of where the steering was able to bolt up back on my column. right, in my car. So the widths were slightly different, so the bolt holes didn't line up, so I had to notch the area in order to and relocate those nuts in order to use that. My hub is already a Toyota hub, so I had no problem with that. Then we get to the second half here. Now for this area here, you're now going to need to make some adaptation between here and going to your rack and pinion. So that is where your assembly from your car would come in. So for my car, this is the two uni joints that it used going to the rack and pinion, and thankfully we didn't have to modify this. So the modification that we did was that I went to a parts place and I found a uni joint that had with the spline and diameter to match this. I don't even know what car it came from. I just went, they had a pile of them, and I just went trying on and see which one would work. So from doing the mock-up on my car, I saw that I just needed an adapter to work from here onto here. So what I did for what was done with my car was that we cut the shaft from out of my steering column. This piece is from my steering column, and this part was the uni joint from that I got from the scrapyard. So all we did was just build our own adapter. So we just cut this area off and we were able to get this on and get it to the length that we needed. Also, another thing to take into consideration, if it is that you're going to, well, two reasons. One, in using the adjustability, you need to ensure that you mount this area here. Right? The motor is really heavy. So when I started my mock-up, I had only bolted up here and everything was just sliding down and it just wasn't working out. So we got our fabricator over and he was able to build this bracket for me, fab up this bracket for me that I have bolted to the firewall. And because on looking how it is that it mounts into the Prius, it's something like this, that it actually swivels in this area. So this would be your first anchoring point, and then this area would be your final anchoring point onto the car. So for you to take advantage of the adjustability of the steering, you definitely need to anchor this. If you don't want that adjustability, because as you can see here, it has this little spring-loaded piece here. So if you don't want that adjustability, you'd have to remove this bracket and get something to hold the motor in place and do your fab. Alright, so that's it for the electrical work. So now it comes to testing the system. Now, as you saw, I had connected this to a switch on my control panel. Now, how the system is going to work is that when I turn on this switch and give it power, you're going to hear a click in the control unit. That's a relay that's in that control unit. Within 5 to 10 seconds of it getting power, the EPAS is supposed to work. So let's get to testing that. Right here, you can see that I have a blue piece of tape that is on this. So what I'm going to do in my test is that I'm going to show you how the steering works without power steering and with the steering active. Alright, so first I'm going to turn off the power steering. In turning it off, you'll hear the relay click once again in the switch go off in the control box, and then we're going to turn the steering wheel, fling the steering wheel left and right and see where it stops, and then turn it back on and do the same thing and see where it stops. So first, off. So now power steering is not active. Alright, so this is just me with my fingertip turning this. This is the effort that I have to be doing. So we're now at 12 o'clock. I'm going to hold the steering at 3 o'clock and I'm going to throw it to the left. Alright, so we got it to stop just at about 7 o'clock with that motion. I'm going to set it back to 12 o'clock and turn it on. Alright, so this is me with minimum effort right now moving the steering wheel. Right, so we're going to do the same thing. As you can see, it came right back round to about 5 o'clock.